Well, I dicked around with the 79 Cutlass a little bit. Sometimes you gotta change your wheels and tires around to get inspiration. I put the Centerlines back on the ass and the Fenton Gyros back on the front. Put some new tires on them. Old Centerlines. They've been on there for a long time. Put some fresh rubber on them. If you're trying to fit a 15x10 wheel on one of these G-body Cutlasses, that's a 15x10 with a 5-inch backspace. You can just get a finger in between the tire and the frame back there. It's pretty fucking tight. These are 275, 60, 15 tires on a 15x10 Centerline. They don't rub. Fit the car pretty damn good. So that's about as fat as you can go and keep it in the fender without notching your frame and shit. And they got these Fenton Gyros on the front, 15 3.5s, 1969 Fenton Gyro aluminum slots. They were more, this car's a 79. These are more period correct. GM fat and skinny rally wheels. Just don't really look right on a Oldsmobile Cutlass. Being a 79 Cutlass back in the late 70s, aluminum slot wheels were extremely popular. So were Centerlines. I believe Centerlines hit the scene about 76. So they were full swing by 79. So these are period correct rolling stock. Trying to keep it all old school. Like if it were built in the late 70s, early 80s. Basically, under the hood, different story, but as far as the general appearance goes, I want to keep it old school. I think I'm just going to sand it down, make a few repairs, and throw some satin black on this ride for now. Later on down the road, I wouldn't mind putting a nice gold paint job on it, like champion gold, like the old 60s Oldsmobile gold. But for now, it's gonna be the satin black. So I gotta get something on it and get that fucking rust put to a halt. I don't want that shit getting any worse. And the car's still, all the sheet metal is savable, so I ain't gonna have to do no major hackery on the fucking thing. Centerlines, they fit it pretty good. I'm rather fond of this old car. Back in the 90s, I was tearing up the streets in this fucking thing. Been parked for 20 years. I fucked with it for about 10 years and then parked it for 20. So I've had it over 30 years. Still gotta get a windshield in it, but I don't want to do that until I'm gonna fucking get in here and clean this channel out, shoot some fucking paint or something in there to put that shit to a stop. Might go ahead and throw a roll cage in it too while the windshield's out, and then put a windshield in it. And I'm just going to throw a couple of fiberglass buckets, drag seats in it, 1970s style. I'm going to keep it column shifted too. Fuck it. I say, managed to this long. I have B&M Pro Stick shifters and shit laying around that I could throw in it, but I always thought it was cool to run the column shift, plus it saves weight. So I might just keep it column shift forever. It's got an aluminum hood on it. It's a rare fucking hood. This is a Canadian built Cutlass. Seemed like their shit was just a little different than those built in America. It's a hard top. I think this thing's a Calais, a Cutlass Calais. And I hate vinyl tops. All that shit does is rust your fucking roof off. This trunk lid came off another old Cutlass I had. Can't remember why I switched it out. I think something might have fell out of the top of a garage on the trunk of this one and knocked a big fucking dent in it. And I used to have a shitload of these Cutlasses sitting around, so I just pulled the trunk lid off another one I had and stuck it on here. I think I've had 25, 30 Cutlasses over the last, since the 80s. My favorites were the 68, 69 Cutlasses though. I had a 71 442, had a 69 442, had a 72 Cutlass SX, had a 68 F85. Bunch of Cutlasses over the years. This thing ain't had a dash in it in 30 fucking years. That old Grant steering wheel was the shit back in its day. This car was in real good shape. But there it is. Centerlines and Fentons.